Hello, hello. How is everybody tonight?
I hope everybody is doing well.
Can you hear us okay?
My phone is freaking out.
We've been having a little bit of technical difficulty, so trying to make sure that we're on there. Moto bomb's finer than a frog hair. His are pretty coarse, so I'm not sure about that. Hey, Evil Rick.
Yeah, you're cutting up big
2-4,
time.
thanks for joining in.
And the people in the audience, is she cutting up or is it just cutting out to me?
Well, Moto Bomb said it sounds good. Flower Child
Let's
says she
see.
can hear us. We're having some ghosts in the machine, I think. They don't want us on. Buck's finer than a frog hair split 50 ways.
Yep, apparently.
I guess it's just you or between us because Motobomb says he doesn't hear any cutting out. So we're okay. So hope everybody's good. Hi, sick bastard. Good. Glad to see you. We were going to discuss a couple of things. I think Frog's going to tell you some stories about some stuff that he's had going on. And then we're going to open it up and see if anybody wants to come up and tell a story or ask questions or whatever the spirit takes hold, I guess. And then I have a little bit of information to share. So, Frog, go ahead. Hold on, Frog. Frog, they can't hear you. There's our technical difficulties going on again.
All right, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. All right, we've had a couple things happen. The latest thing was I had uh I had put the telescopal big lens on our camera because I like to take pictures of the moon, and Lolly just got me a big one. So I had it on the camera, and I took the little 6-inch lens off, and I had it wrapped up in the bag, and I had stuck it. We have these old, I guess they're like banana crates or orange crates. People used to use them for furniture back in the 70s and 80s. They're all stained and look nice. Well, I have magazines in them, and I had stuck it in there all the way to the back of it, and somehow it just fell the other night onto the floor. And on that same night, later on, after Lolly went to bed, uh, I kept hearing stuff like it's moving in here in the kitchen. And of course, I kept seeing black things. Something was peeking. I call them peekaboos because they like stick their head out, and look around the corner. So that all happened in one night. And the cat food, the cat food, one of our cats eats over here on top of the freezer, and one of them eats off the island. Well, the cat food was sitting in the middle of the freezer, and it got literally what looked like, I didn't see it, but where the cat food went, it looked like it just been shoved back, and the cat food went everywhere behind the freezer and all over the kitchen floor. Now I was just standing 2 feet away from it, looking this way, and it's kind of behind me over here. So that was really weird. And like she said, tonight we're having, now that we tried to get this going, we've had all kinds of technical difficulties. We barely got it going right before it started. Uh, let's see, there was something else. What else happened? I don't even remember what it was now.
You had something fall out
There
of
was
your
2
little
other things
table
that happened.
next to your chair that you got that table where it goes
That
back
was the
in.
camera lens.
That was the camera lens. Okay, sorry.
That was the lens. Yeah, that was the camera lens. I don't even remember now. But I haven't ran the ghost tube or anything this week. So I thought things were quieted down a little bit, being how I wasn't talking to them. Because the more I talk to them, the more active they get around here. So I haven't done anything this week, talking to them or asking them to do anything. But they still been making sure they know I know they're here. Thanks, Evil Rick. Let's see, the cat food, the camera lens. Oh, the electricity. Okay. Everybody knows that if you have a circuit breaker break, it takes out that whole section of electricity. Well, this past week, but 3 or 4 times, it was turning off the coffee pot, the microwave, and the internet, but not the rest of the stuff that's on that circuit. Because the living room's on that same circuit, and these lights that are above me are on that circuit. But it only turned it off for like 30 seconds, just long enough to mess everything up, mess the clocks up. And then it just came back on. So that was kind of weird. It's never done that before. And that happened 3 or 4 nights in a row. And it hasn't done it since
At the same time.
It's been about 3 days, 4 days. Yeah. At the same time every night. Which really made it odd. It was like between 2:02 and 2:05, it did it every night. I was like, what the hell? Because we have the coffee pot set to where when she gets up in the morning, it's already brewed, there's a timer on it. So it messed that up. When it take out the internet, it take out the TV because we got Roku. That's how I watch most of my YouTube is I watch it on the Roku on the big TV, and then I comment on my phone. So everybody gets 2 views, which helps everybody out. But yeah, it's just some of the couple of weird things that's going on here this week. This is the temporary pope speaking. Rod B. Yeah, we need a pope like Rod B.
Yeah, Rod B had to take off. He had to go to work.
The last one. Yeah.
Hey, Quick Shoe. Thanks for stopping in. Chasing Ghosts, thank you. And Rolling with T-Bone, he's listening, so we got to read the comments out when they're not just the hellos.
Comment. Because apparently, oh, Lord.
Well, I had found a couple of things I thought we'd talk about just for a moment to the bikers that we have out there. and all the support that they give us, and you being a biker. The little bit of the spiritualism of motorcycling, because bikes can become an extension of the self. It's an embodiment of one's will and spirit, and it's a delicate balance where the equilibrium is maintained on two wheels. Is symbolic of the balance many seek in life. It's about harnessing that freedom and control, risk and safety, speed and pause. So I thought that was kind of neat when you look at it that way, because I know when you ride, it's your church. It's you enjoy it, and it helps you relieve stress. And I've heard a bunch of the other people that we have supporting us that they feel the same way about it a lot of times. What are your all's thoughts?
Yeah, I know a lot of guys do. Do you feel like when you go out and ride, that's part of your church? And do you talk to God when you're out riding?
And not just, oh dear God, move that idiot out of my way.
Yeah,
Move,
I'd be
move.
motorbomb just about every commute.
Two wheels, two legs, in no particular order relieves stress
Up,
for
bud.
me. That's Bug Brown. Quick Shoe says, all I want to do is wander around the country on my bike. And I really mean that. I understand that. Me too. Evil says, depends on how close some cager comes to killing me. Nice shirt, Frog, says 2-4. Hey.
Thank you.
But I also
What's that
found
for?
a little information like the biker code. And I know that was talked about on Biker Roadhouse and Unaffiliated before. But there's like 9 rules that aren't for everybody. It's not totally a club thing, but it's some of what bikers as a community look at as far as the rules you follow. Rule 1 is family first. You're very protective of their fellow bikers. I believe that. Rule 2, no nonsense.
Yep.
3 is honor the bike. 4, never give up. 5, no rider left behind. Stay true to yourself. Stick to your guns. And number 9 was ride with pride. I think all of those pretty much, that's what that is, isn't it?
Yep. Yep. Sounds like good guidelines to go by. And do you want to talk about what the meaning of some of the patches are and the numbers?
Yeah. There's patches you'll see on bikers vest, or sometimes you'll see codes on painted on their bikes. And I wondered if you all had heard of this, or if this is new to you. But when you see the 777, 3 sevens together, that's an angel number. In numerology, it's often interpreted as the angel number, meaning it represents luck, intuition, spirituality, and divine protection. It's seen as a sign from the universe to trust your instincts and embrace a spiritual journey. The number 7 itself is associated with inner wisdom, intuition, and a connection to the spiritual realm. And so when it appears 3 times, it intensifies that energy. suggesting a powerful message of spiritual awakening and divine guidance. When you see the 3 8s together, it's referring to, or often interpreted as, a symbol of abundance, prosperity, and success, particularly in the realm of finances and material well-being. So again, that's the number 8. So the repetition of the number 3 times is believed to amplify its positive energy and significance. The 3 zeros can also be interpreted as an angel number. In some beliefs, it symbolizes a new beginning, change, spiritual awakening, and infinite possibilities. So it's kind of like a beginning. And what I found really interesting was that there's also a spirituality symbol for 3 9s that it signifies completion and new beginnings. It urges trust in the process of life, brings closure to relationships and careers, and encourages reflection and growth. Embracing change, practicing non-resistance, and remaining open-hearted are key. But I thought that was interesting, being the inversion of the 3 6 of 666. But I just thought it was really cool. And I think we're going to share the link and see if anybody is interested in coming on. If you want to jump on and share a story, or if you have questions, or just want to say something. We haven't had much participation with the emails or people joining that way. Evils. Yeah, I know. It's okay. Ours is going a little crazy right now as well. And then, well, I guess if anybody is interested in it, I also have a pairing for crystals and herbs. You can power pair them. So one of the big ones we found is chamomile and amethyst, that relieves anxiety and stress. A bay leaf and citrine is manifestation and abundance. And of course, rosemary and selenite, that's protection and cleansing. That's the big one. I think I need to pull that out so we can do some cleansing here and get rid of some of these little ghosts in our machines here. But basil and aventurine is luck and opportunity. Sage and tourmaline, that removes the negativity. That's a big one. These are big ones as far as doing cleansings in your homes and things of that nature, to try to get all of the negativity out. But here we go. We got somebody. Candace Flower Child's coming on.
Hello, Flower Child.
Hello. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yep.
I just wanted to Okay, I just wanted to make a comment. Your all's video that Frog had posted last Tuesday, I believe it was. I watched it like 2 or 3 times, and uh, the first 2 times I kept seeing a dark shadow behind him, and it was I'm trying to think here. It was behind him, kind of like in a corner. I seen a shelf or something not in the corner wall, but it was like 4 foot tall and it was dark. But then I looked again and it was like what it had on, like, was black. It had something on that was black, but its skin was like a brown, like a leather brown, and its eyes were really big and white. And then it's almost like it felt like it came through my phone when I was watching it, and I seen it, and I like all of a sudden my heart started racing really fast, and I was like, oh man. So then I, like, prayed over myself, and I did some of my incense and stuff, and that's when I'd asked you and Frog if when was that made? Like, was it that night or when was it? And he had told me prior to that, and I said,
Yeah.
well, I knew that I had felt something, and then when I seen what I seen in the video, it kind of did like confirmation for me, But I just thought I'd throw that out there.
Yeah, I think we did a cleansing after that, and then we're ready for a new one.
Right.
Hey,
Yeah.
Twisted, how are you?
Okay, well, I'll talk to you later. Thank you.
Thanks, Scan. Hey, Shockers. I think Twisted was having some trouble with their chickens. Yeah. We're having some technical issues, apparently, Twisted. So I hope everybody can be patient with us while we're trying to get this stuff worked out. We went over some pairing of stuff. Moto wants to know, how do we feel when somebody tells you something like that? That they see. You want to go first? I can't hear you.
I did a moto bomb.
There you go. You're on now.
I muted myself, and like I said before, I've been dealing with this stuff my whole life, so it's not unusual for me at all. Like I said, that's why I haven't done anything this week, because no matter what, if you talk to the spirits, you stir them up, and when I seem to do it, it seems to attract more. So yeah, I'm pretty much used to it anymore. As long as they're not attacking me, I don't even mind, because just like 3 or 4 nights ago, I was laying in bed, and I thought the cat had jumped in the bed, and but the cat wasn't there, and that's a reoccurring thing, that it always feels like something's moving on the bed when there ain't nothing there. Yep, self-muting. That's me. I do it all the time. chicken and dumplings times 3, huh? That's funny. But it doesn't bother me a whole lot. Like I said, I've kind of gotten used to it. I've been hurt a couple times. Oh, I did get scratched this week. What day did I get scratched? And that was in bed. Because I woke up and I had 3 scratches right above my ankle, and I had no idea how they got there. And usually, if a cat attacks me, which she don't do that anymore, because the last time she attacked my feet, I got restless leg syndrome, so my feet's always moving and my ankles are always, I move my ankles in circles. And the last time she attacked me, I kicked her across the room because she laid into me. Okay, we'll have to do that. And but yeah, I did get scratched probably was about a week ago was when I got scratched. And I didn't tell Lolly because she worries about that kind of stuff because she's back there longer than I am. She goes to bed way before I do. I usually can't get to bed till 4, anywhere between 3 and 6 in the morning is usually when I get to go to bed. I have 2 cats in the house. Yeah. Oh, that's crazy. There's one I can relate to, and she took it away. I have 2 cats in the house. Sometimes when I'm sitting on the couch or laying in the bed, I feel a cat walking across, but there's no cat there. Happens here a lot. You do seem to have a lot of stuff that goes on at your house, Evil Rick. I
You're
can't
gonna have to
imagine
start
why,
taking
Evil
pictures
Rick.
and recording it.
That's something I do sometimes. I just get the notion that I need to take a picture of an area for some reason or another. Sometimes I get things and sometimes I don't. The best one I ever got though was right here on the island. I got a face bigger than what you can see. I mean, it was like something you would see on the Wizard of Oz. And it's just right here hovering over the island. I was my 2 of my kids was sitting on the other side. It was somebody's birthday or something, Thanksgiving or something like that. I can't remember what. It was a long time ago, but I snapped a picture, and then after it got developed, everybody was like, "Well, what the hell is that?" I was like, "What? Let me see." And it's a big picture. You can see a big man's head floating here above the island. Hey, Ray
I like your
Gregory.
little army you got across the ceiling.
Yeah, I believe that's on the computer that messed up.
Yeah, it was. Unfortunately,
I,
seems like that seems to happen quite a bit when people have proof of something. You can't find it, or it gets corrupted in
mhm,
the files or something. But
yeah,
I seen that with my own eyes because you said, "Look at that," and it was
yeah,
this little army of little men, that shadow that was walking across, marching across the ceiling, right behind him, actually.
yeah. And it just didn't last for a minute. It lasted for probably almost 20 minutes, 15 to 20
Yeah,
minutes. Seemed like, if I recall right, it was 17 minutes. And the video was 17 minutes long, but I watched it for a couple minutes before I just casually turned my camera on and set my phone down on the table, pointing towards the ceiling, and just let it video it. So,
hey, Dave's in. Hi, Dave.
hey, Dave.
And Ray jumped in. It's good to see
Yeah,
everybody. Thank you for coming. We really appreciate it.
yeah, we appreciate
You have to,
everybody's support. Go ahead, honey. I
I was
swear
just
if we
getting
ain't
the
talking over
comment.
each other, we're
Yeah, it was crazy twisted because both of us sat down. We got on the turned the computers on and was getting ready to try to get things set up for here. And I told him, I said, there's a ghost in the machines because somebody or some energy does not want us on here doing this stuff because my computer was dead. It was unplugged, which it wasn't unplugged earlier because I was actually on it earlier with work and it was unplugged. The battery was almost dead. And I was trying to get that straightened out while we were getting on. And then he turned his on and it was almost dead too. So it was like all the energy's being pulled out. It's really getting a little crazy. But we're going to go through and I'm going to do a cleansing tonight before bed and try to get some of these ghosts out of here. So it gets a little crazy. And we're all the time feeling stuff. And of course, we've got the spikes in on the four corners, so it makes it a little easier when we do the cleansings. And yeah, we've got the four thieves. Actually, I also have the holy water that we're working on, or I've got it to use as well. But yeah, I think I put the link out if anybody wants to jump on. I'll put it out there again. Tell some stories or say hello or I know Ray's Model Life's jumped in. He's usually the community talker around here, so get him on. I don't think he likes telling these kind of stories though.
Yeah, he did have a story. I can't remember what it was. He had something that happened there not too long ago.
Oh,
Yeah,
Sterling's here. Hey, Sterling. Hope things
Hey,
are getting a
Sterling.
little better for you.
Yeah.
You had any weird things going on in the truck? Get some ghosties in your truck. You got to cleanse everywhere. Get things moving along. I think we have Process had talked about coming on at some point. We're still waiting to hear from him about doing the UFO discussion.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I need to take
That's
some more
okay, Ray.
video.
I'm just glad you showed up and support. We really do appreciate it.
Every little bit helps.
I bet you are wore out, Quick Shoe. He got back to work and was working again, so he's wore out now. He done work 9 hours. But I think a lot of our stories you've heard. I know John was talking about an orb that he's seen that was like a electrical spark.
No, not a
Have you
spark.
seen an orb like that? Or, well, I mean, a blast. He's seen a bright light and then it went away. Have you seen orbs like that?
Oh, yeah. I've seen orbs that come in as small and then be like on a dimmer switch and get brighter and brighter. And the way his sounded, it got really, really bright. I would have loved to him for probably would have freaked him the hell out, but if he'd have seen it. But he said, he'd never felt anything in his house or seen anything like that before. What's up, Sick? So that was kind of cool. Because I think he was kind of on the fence about believing in spirits or or at least he wanted to deny knowing about spirits.
Well, he
But I
came
think
in
that kind
for
of,
a little bit. I was hoping he'd jump on with us and tell the story, but
yeah, I don't
maybe
think
another
he's here
night.
still. Okay, well, I guess you take the comments and I'll tell a ghost story.
Okay.
Now, some of you know that's been with me for a little while know that a while back I was maintenance man at a hotel. Well, while I was at this hotel, I kept feeling like there was three people there, and one of them was bad. One of them had definitely had dark energy. Well, after about 2 months of working there, I kept seeing what I refer to as a witch. A witch, when you see them, they're usually black. They have Medusa looking hair, but they have glowing eyes. And I kept seeing her peeking at me and peeking at me and peeking at me. Well, come to find out, there was a family there that had got burned out of their house, and he was the father of this family, the eldest. He was the I forgot what they called, genealogist or whatever, that has to come in and inspect the ground because there, if you around here, everything has to be checked to see if there's Indian artifacts there. And there was 3 homestead uh, graves in this on this land that had to be moved. So that's why I was seeing 3 spirits. And he was telling me all about it, and I was like, "Wow, that's crazy!" Because I knew there was 3 people. I said a man, a woman, and a teenager. And he was like, "Yep, that's exactly who it was. There was one family." He said he don't know how they died, but they all died within 2 years of each other. From the beginning to the end was around 2 years. And so I thought that was really cool that somebody that was actually there, and because he explained that I had told him that I knew that it was a farm. It used to be a horse farm because when I was little, my dad used to ride horses with the guy that lived up there that owned it. But the tombstones were from like 1800 and the late 1800s, almost 1900s. Almost, I think what do you say, the girl was 1878, I believe. Yeah, 1878 is when she passed away, and she was the last one. And and then of course that wiped out that whole family. So the land was sold, and it had been a cow farm for a while. Then back in the 70s, my dad's friend bought it, and he had horses up there. And so I know that it was a farm, and I thought there was an old uh, family burial site up there, but I never went to that area of it because it was all fenced off, and I was little. I was probably 10, 8, 9, 10. But yeah, when I worked at that hotel, and I'd even ask people, I'd be like, because the witch would be in certain rooms. Wasn't like she just pop up anywhere. She was like in 5 different doorways of one of the 3 floors, and one of them was a maintenance room upstairs. Not my maintenance room, but it was a storage maintenance room where the housekeepers kept all their stuff. But she would, I'd be like, I cleaned the carpets a lot, because you need to do that in a hotel. So I'd be doing a room, and I'd feel like somebody staring at me, and I'd turn around and I'd see her for a second, and then she'd be gone. And if I was working in the back part of the hotel, for some reason, she would be 2 doors down from the exit door, and she would just be looking around the corner just to watching me. But the last time I saw her, she like acknowledged that I saw her, and she stuck around for a good solid minute, and she was doing this. She was doing this at me, and I'm getting goosebumps talking about it. And that pretty much freaked me out. And I went and told my friend that worked in the kitchen area about it, and of course it freaked her out. But yeah, that was kind of crazy that you would find a ghost in a hotel. Nobody's passed away in there. It's just when you build a house or get into a new subdivision, you have no idea what happened there years ago. So, you can find spirits anywhere. What's up, Shadow? Glad you made it. But that's just one of my crazy ghost stories. One of my more scarier ghost stories. At least to me it was. Because you don't see a witch too often. I think I might have seen 4 my whole lifetime. I mean, and I've seen a lot of spirits and a lot of ghosts. Up into the hundreds, I'd say easy. Especially when I lived next to the cemetery, I saw quite a few, all different sorts. Young, old, super old. One of the places that I used to hunt at where I had my Bigfoot sighting, I had never climbed this hill because this hill in this one spot was like super, super steep. So I didn't go up there. Besides, the deer spent a lot of time up there. So, and they bedded up there. So, you don't go into a deer's bedding area if you want to hunt them. What's up, Thomas? And one day I walked up the driveway and went ahead and climbed up the hill. Well, there was like 7 tombstones up there. And the best way to describe it is I started going up there and sitting up there, and I would literally have conversations with some of these people. I mean, it was like they was talking right to me. I know, that wasn't vocals in my ear, but I would say something to them, and they would speak back to me. And then come to find out that their house wasn't 60 yards away from there. You couldn't see it because the brush had covered it all up. But they was like, our house is right over there. You've never been over there. So I went over there through this thorn crap, and lo and behold, in the middle of this big thorn crap is an old house. It was probably built in the early 1900s, like 1902, kind of shacky house. So that was pretty wild. But I I really enjoyed going up there because they were very pleasant, and they was thankful that somebody came to visit them because nobody had come to visit them in a long time. They said, nobody's been up here, and not even the landowners. The landowner was a logger, and of course he didn't log his own land. We did one section, but that was a whole different. He owned this is probably 700 acres is what he owned. And the only part he did clear was where the property line was, where I call the Psycho family lived at, because they were like some hillbilly inbred nutcases. But yeah, that's a couple ghost stories.
Thanks for stopping in, Quick Shoe. I appreciate it. Thanks for the support. Yeah, when you was in the hotel, there were several people that had made comments about weird things or seeing or hearing things. It was
Yeah.
confirmation, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. The little boy that lived there, that was the house that burnt down, they had a little boy there too. He was like 7. He was an awesome little boy. He always wanted to help me, which I could understand. This little boy's living in the hotel with nothing to do, and he's supposed to be quiet and all this. And he said he seen a ghost, and his parents was like, "What? What do you mean you seen a ghost?" Because he heard me and his grandpa talking about, the people having to move their grave sites. And so I was like, yeah, I'd seen 3 ghosts and I felt 3 ghosts. And he was like, I seen a ghost. And they were like, what? Where'd you see a ghost at? He said, they was in our room. You didn't see him? He acted like it was normal. Like he couldn't believe that they didn't see him. They said, yeah, he had a big hat and he had a big mustache and he had boots on with his pants in his boots. And he said, I remember because his pants was in his boots. And they was like, what? They had no idea.
I love hearing the kids talking about things that they see, because there's so many people that, stop it or shut them down and tell them, no, you didn't see that, or no, that doesn't exist. And that makes me so angry, because they do sometimes. Yeah. So Twisted Heart, she's seen a soldier walking out where she's at down in Kentucky. He's got half of his face and does that stop move, really far movement. He doesn't make any noise. And then Flower Child has seen an ogre.
I haven't seen an ogre.
And I think we've got about 15 people in. So if somebody wants to get on and talk or come up on the panel, you're more than welcome. The link is pinned to the comments. But I think with children, it's more apt to be real, because they, a lot of people talk about the imaginary friends and things, but a lot of times it's not. It's actually energy or spirits that are talking and doing stuff with them, because they're so open-minded.
Yeah. Yeah, kids are a lot more honest about what they see. I'm getting attacked by a cattail right now. That's Sasquatch. Yes, I named my cat Sasquatch. He's got great big white feet, and when he was a kitten, he looked like he was all foot. So I was like, well, let's call him Bigfoot. And I was like, nah, let's call him Sasquatch. That way we can call him Sassy for short, because he's all attitude.
He definitely is.
And he done moved on. He'll be screaming to go outside here. But yeah, I mean, that's what started me when I was little. And my mom, she didn't want to believe it, because her sister would do the same thing. My aunt, she would know there was a ghost in the house before she even got in there, because a lot of times she'd refuse to come into a house. It took her a long time for her to come into the house when we lived on Spring Street. And the house on Spring Street is where the... Hey, Dave.
Hi, welcome.
Good morning. I'm just
Good morning.
Good morning, Dave.
I just saw a link, so I thought I'd come and visit the Frogzillas at their little ranch. I had nothing really to talk about. mythical or otherwise, other than just to say good
Yeah.
morning to you. How you going?
We
Good
Morning.
to see us.
appreciate you stopping
good to
in
see
and showing
you.
some support. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I can't be too loud, of course, because we still have people sleeping in our little
Yeah.
bungalows.
Yeah.
It's what is it?
It-
It's 9 o'clock over here. I'm just about ready to go off to my
Yeah.
medical walking program. Hey, really good to see T-Bone's Nam Nights show yesterday. I was most impressed with what they do.
Yeah,
for
that
their
was an
Yeah.
awesome
fellow
show.
veterans.
Yes, it was.
So
He
big
did a really
shout
good
out.
job with that, T-Bone.
But look, I will give my 2 cents. What are we talking about this morning? I got something about ghosts mucking around with your computers because they didn't want the truth to get out. A bit like politicians.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's kind of like when we first started the first couple shows, she kept having the same book fly out of her bookcase. And today, as soon as we started talking about getting ready for the show, everything started messing up. It all worked fine all day long, but we go to do this and everything started messing up. So
Well,
they definitely don't like us talking about them.
yes, it's interesting, isn't it? Where we should be celebrating this next chapter in our existence, whether that existence is on a worldly plane like today or in a spiritual existence. So
Yeah.
Yes.
and how do we manage not to be absolute ghouls and creeps, but to sort of walk in the light and be with things that should be, rather than the other side, which is tormenting people.
Yeah.
I just don't want to be on that side. I want to be walking in the light, man.
I think that's part of it with our energies. It has to be, you have to enlighten yourself. You have to be able to learn how to get to that next level. So your energies can be enlightening and be positive for the next journey.
Yeah.
I
think a lot of the spirits that get stuck here are the people that say, well, you just get thrown in the dirt and you turn to ash and that's it. Well, if you believe that your whole life, as I believe, is the people that get stuck here, you have no spiritual forwardness to yourself. You're earthly bound because you didn't have no beliefs.
Well, it's funny. We had a lapsed Catholic come in. I know you know plenty, Frog. That's exactly what Flower Child is saying. Exactly. But it was funny. We had a lapsed Catholic come into the house, and he's a friend of mine, and I know that he was, once he knew all the prayers at church. And, as a sort of young teenager, he's shied away a bit.
Yeah.
But there is that sort of, fear that if you renounce Christ, you possibly can live a life of damnation. And there's that sort of little niggling, let's hedge our bets, what are we going to say here? But it's not about what you say, it's about what you believe, what you stand by, what you live by. I just want to live with the birds and the trees. I'm a nature freak.
What's in your heart?
I love nature. I mean, you can see that on my videos when I'm riding through the trees. That's just kingdom come for me is the forests. Whether those forests are in Oregon or Portland or the southwest of Western Australia or the Amazon or some of the rides that other international YouTubers have taken us on, and we've been able to see what the nature is pretty fantastic. I don't need to shout anyone out. I'd rather shout Frogzilla and Mystical Lolly out because it seems that I'm on their channel. But yes, look, guys, just a little sort of flap in, flap out before I go up to the hospital, which is it's not a bad thing. I get to do my exercises
I
there through
appreciate that.
physiotherapy. Yeah. Just a big interruption into today's lecture, so I'll quietly go back to my chair and
that's
table
fine.
and keep taking my notes on your lecture. All right.
We appreciate it,
Okay.
Dave. Thank you. It was great
And
seeing
for
you.
the people that, yeah, it is. It's awesome to have you on, no matter what.
No, that's good.
You're always welcome.
Good. Thank you. The Frogzillas from Indiana. It's a shame that other people who got involved with you aren't around but there's good reason for that. All right.
Yeah.
Love yous. See yous.
Peace, Dave. Thank you.
Love you. Bye.
Yeah, Twisted, that's true. It doesn't matter religion or faith. It's bigger. And I think that's part of where we're going. When we talk about the energies we have, when we talk about the enlightenment that we have, it's being able to accept people and things as they are. Every nation has the basics of the morality and values, and when you look at things in a positive light, it helps bring those positive energies to you.
Yeah. And just because you're a Christian, okay, let's use the Pope as an example. Okay, the Pope went out of bounds what the Catholic Church stands for. He was liking Hoochie Mama's posts on Instagram. What are they called? Them girls that sell themselves, that have their own channel, and you got to pay to go see
OnlyFans.
OnlyFans. He was liking their posts, hearting their posts, okay? And then he was saying that the LGBTQ bullcrap was okay, and that should be that should be accepted into the church. And it's as far as the Bible says no. That's a sin. And
but you're also supposed to be able to love and honor everyone. Not that I agree with some of the things that he did, but I'm just saying we're not supposed to judge. It's supposed to be to honor
we're not supposed
each one.
To judge, but the church isn't supposed to be accepting of it. The church isn't supposed to be accepting of. He accepted and said abortion was okay. He went so far to say that abortion was okay, and he understood why people had to do it, and it was all right, and the church should accept that. And that's why a month or so ago, when he first went to the hospital, he was screaming about demons trying to take him through a porthole in his hospital room. They literally had to sedate him because he was telling them demons to leave him the hell alone and get out of here. Quit trying to drag him to hell. So it doesn't matter if you go to church every Sunday, if God ain't, if your higher power ain't in your heart, then it doesn't count. Just because I think we were talking, it don't mean you're gonna make it.
Yeah, we were talking about that on the rabbit hole the other night on Retired Writers Live. Just the differences in, what we bring about upon ourselves and what we put out into the universe. If you put out the negative actions, that's what you're going to get back.
I didn't know that. He also allowed another country to bring in a statue that they worshiped as their God that is not allowed only one God. Yep, there's only one God. And the Tampon Tim, I don't know if everybody has Instagram, but there's been a few stories going around that the satanic something or another gave him an award, and he put it in the Capitol in Michigan, saying that these satanic people really celebrated Tampon Tim. There wasn't no big announcement about it, but one of the state ladies was leaving there one night when it wasn't busy and there wasn't 500 people in there, and she's like, well, what's this? This is new. And she went over and read it, and it was an award from a satanic group praising Tim, Tampon Tim. Let's see what Thomas says here. If you confess with your mouth but don't believe in your heart, you are a liar, and the truth is not in you. That's true. Pure evil. Yep. It's evil. And that's what I've said from the beginning. This ain't need to watch Joe Rogan and Mel Gibson.
I think everybody is going to have, everybody has their own beliefs, and what church you decide to be a part of is within you. It's what's in your heart. It's what's in your soul. You have your relationship with your higher power, and that's what matters. It's, there's so many different religions, and there's so many different thoughts on all the different aspects of church and God and the higher power, that it's almost the same thing as the racism we were seeing today. It's people judge on religion as much as they do on color. Some people don't.
Yeah.
But some people do. And, you can't make it that way. It's your relationship, your individual relationship.
Uh-huh. And Ray, I tried to find that because I seen a small 7-minute video of it, and I was not able to find it. So if you could, if it's not too much trouble, send me a link to Instagram, because I really would like to see it. Because I know he was saying there was some bad crap going on. Yeah, too many religions and only one God. They just found in where was it? One of the other religions countries. They found in the prison floor, under the prison floor, it was 2 fish, and then it said there's only one God, or Jesus is God. And that's not their belief over there in that country. And I can't remember what country it was. I just saw it this morning, but I can't remember where it was. But I thought that was crazy. Oh,
Try it now, Ray.
Can you?
I did. You got it where you should be able to post it now.
I was gonna say just send it to me on Instagram. But yeah, that works too. We needed another moderator or two anyway. Although we ain't had no kooky people in here.
We don't have it vertical, so it's not going out in the shorts automatically. So we're not
Yeah.
going to get as many,
So we'll hang
at
out
least
for
for
a minute.
now.
See if
Sterling
can
likes
post
it
that link.
horizontal.
I do like it horizontal, but I don't mind doing, one every now and again vertical.
We may have to do that.
Yeah.
See if we can get
And we can get some more people.
some more action.
Because we haven't actually grown at all. We're still at
But I do want to
51.
thank everybody for coming in and everybody for supporting us that's here or that
Yep,
just pop
we
in for a
greatly
second
appreciate it.
and take back off. We still appreciate you being here.
Yeah. Just to say, hey.
There's the link.
Okay. There's the link. Appreciate that, Ray. Oops. Then jumped on me.
Exactly, Flower Child. It's not in the building. He's in you.
Yeah, that's right. And I hate to say it, it's not in another man's words either. Because I've been to churches. I've been to a few different kinds of churches. And what they say out their mouth, they don't do when they're not in church. I'll put it that way.
Yeah,
I've
I
seen
was telling
preachers have affairs with women, leave their wives, and run off with somebody else's wife and kids. So
I was telling John and Coy the other night. Mom was our grandma was a very religious Christian woman, and would do anything for her church. And they would, we'd get the missionaries would come in and they would stay with her, and she'd feed them and take care of them and host them while they were in town, so they didn't have to go to a hotel. And
yeah.
I said it really turned me on the church itself, because she smoked, so they wouldn't let her be a member of the church. And it really hurt her. It upset her terribly, but she still stayed there, and she was still the same host that she was beforehand, but they refused to let her be a member. And then we found out that the preacher we had was doing coke, and like you said, he was having affairs. So it was really disheartening, and it wasn't the first time that something like that had happened. So I had I lost my taste for the grouping, I guess, of churches.
Well,
I'd rather have my church in a small setting with a few people and friends, which is what I enjoy.
I rented a house from a pastor, and this pastor forever acted like he was just the holiest of holy men. And, I already knew he wasn't, but one of the things that really turned my stomach was that he had built a homemade Lazy Susan in the kitchen cabinet in the corner. And he tried to tell me that he invented the Lazy Susan. And I was like, oh, I didn't know you was a couple 100 years old. How are you a couple 100 years old? Because the Lazy Susan's been around a long time, long before you. So how did you invent he hated me after that, because I straight up was like, there's no fucking way, you idiot. Who do you think you're talking to? I'm not some dumb fool. But we appreciate everybody coming in tonight. Let's see, all churches have
I agree, Evil
different
Rick.
interpretation. Their own. My church is under the stars. No man-made collared widow will ever match that.
Colored
You're
window.
right there. Colored window. Okay. Sometimes my dyslexia gets the best of me. But we appreciate everybody coming, and we greatly appreciate everybody's support. And thanks for everybody sticking around for a whole hour. It's really
Hopefully we'll start getting in some
heartwarming to see
emails and
y'all
some
stick through
stories,
it. Yeah.
or other people coming up and sharing stories. So, or emailing them. Some nights are good.
Yeah. So if you have a story you'd like to tell, please come on and tell it.
Or send an
Or
email and we'll
Lolly an
tell it for you.
email. Yeah. We'll tell it for you. That ain't what I wanted to do. I guess I can't do it from there. I have to do it from my phone. I want to click on
What?
that before it goes away. So the link.
Oh, from Ray.
Yeah. I don't know why my phone does that. It's only like a half a screen. And I don't know how to make it full size.
So you can
again.
do 2 different apps on your screen. I'll get it.
All right.
I got it.
Okay. Well, thanks everybody for coming. Like I said, we appreciate it.
Thanks for putting up with our technical issues and
Yeah.
all that good stuff. Peace out, guys. Have a good one.
Later, y'all.
Remember, be positive.
Thank you. So you just left me up here by myself? Come on, woman. She exited